Hello, Marcus Lim here with a very exciting video this time. This is Absolute Doomsday Clock. Okay, Absolute Doomsday Clock. And you can see here, obviously, the black, yellow, Watchmen style with Superman, right? So this is DC meets Watchmen. So that's what it is. A collision of universes. Watchmen universe and DC universe collide. Okay? And actually, before getting into it, right, the seeds of this meeting between two universes has actually been teased all the way back in DC Universe Rebirth, where we saw Batman finding out about the comedian's smiley button, and then we get some clues here as well, right, leading to the clock. And then in the button, right, we get even more clues at the very end, where we see there's Superman, there's a smiley face, and it says Doomsday Clock is coming. And finally, we got Doomsday Clock in end of 2017, where the first issue came out. Right, number 1, number 2. Number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 12 issues, all collected in Absolute Doomsday Clock. Previously, there was also like a 2-volume set, which I also covered in another video, hardcover. Okay. So this one though is the absolute version, so you can see that this one, it says it collects the groundbreaking 12-issue miniseries with more than 60 pages of behind the scenes extras. So that's the cool thing about these absolute editions. You've got all these really cool extras. This one has more than 60 pages. So let's have a look. Let me take this wrapping off. Okay. Now, this is Doomsday Clock. Is by the superstar writer Geoff Jones. Okay. And he has described this as one of his most personal and most epic mind-bending projects ever. Okay, so yeah, following up Watchmen is no simple feat, right? So okay, and this is, so the back is S and S. So I guess there you go. I mean, Superman obviously is a huge, I guess, element in the story. There you go. It's issue 12 also got the S. And like that's the size difference between the issue and the Absolute edition. Okay, so let me take you through the book now. So Absolute Doomsday Clock. Absolute Doomsday Clock, Geoff Jones, Gary Frank, Brett Anderson. Okay. And yeah, so we've got the cover, and then we just go through each issue. And in terms of the story, this takes place 7 years after the original Watchmen finished. Right, Ozymandias' plan to bring peace didn't quite work, as we can see here. Things are chaotic again. And there's a new Rorschach, who is not actually the same Rorschach as in the original Watchmen. We get introduced to new characters like the Marionette and Mime. Okay, this husband and wife team up with Rorschach together. They're trying to find help, and surprisingly, it's Ozymandias, right? Who is actually trying to look for Dr. Manhattan, because he reckons. And then they're sort of like just jumping back to the DC universe, right? So you can see how there's like a collision of these two universes at a very end of each issue, you've got this black matter, which is a lot like the original Watchmen, right? Okay, here's Dr. Manhattan. And you can see that, just like the original Watchmen, actually this is pretty cool, them jumping into the DC universe. So I think part of the fun is having like characters like Batman, or Lex Luthor meeting up with Adrian Veidt and Ozymandias, or like Batman meeting up with Rorschach, right? So yeah, that's all pretty fun. But yeah, in terms of the story, right, you can tell like this is just like the Watchmen, 9 grid sort of panel style, which is very evocative of Watchmen. And also just like Watchmen, you can see, right, it's quite dense. Like the story is quite a dense one. Lots of characters, lots of things happening. Really need to take time to actually digest it, right? It's very, very dialogue heavy. And also, in terms of the artwork, I think, Gary Frank is doing a great job. Has done a great job with Doomsday Clock. I mean, obviously, it's not, Dave Gibbons, but, is Gary Frank, and he really gives this its own sort of identity. In fact, Geoff Jones also likes to say that he thinks that Doomsday Clock is like a self-contained tale, although I mean you do need to know like the what happened. Oh, that's Joker. What happened in Doomsday, in Watchmen, right? What happened previously in Rebirth, to really get the full scope of the story that it's trying to tell. So yeah, it's a follow-up to Watchmen. At the same time, it's also a follow-up to DC, a continuation of the storyline that began in Rebirth, like Button, and ties up like all those threads together, right? So yeah, so you could think of it as a follow-up to all those stories. But fundamentally, if you were to ask me like, what's it all about? Well, Geoff Jones he's not, he doesn't write like bleak stuff, right? There's always an element of hope in all that he's writing, right? And yeah, that's also the case in this one too. It's ultimately a story all about hope. And as we shall see, moving into the final issues, that Superman, right? So you can tell that Geoff Jones really, really loves Superman, and for good reason, because he is the embodiment of hope in Geoff Jones' eyes. Okay, and we shall see that play out in a very interesting way, because throughout this whole series we've been setting up this confrontation which to come between Dr. Manhattan and Superman himself, which we'll get to as we approach the end of the series. Okay, so close now. I think this is issue 11. Yeah, as you can tell, right? Like lots of stuff happening. And one thing to point out is that originally it was supposed to only come out over the space of a year, but I think delays push it to 2 years. But now we can actually, there you go, that's the confrontation. And so here goes. Right, so this is the issue where the two of them face off. And if you're gonna expect, a huge battle, you may be disappointed because that's not actually what happens. What actually happens is that it's more of a battle of philosophies and ideas. On the one hand, you've got Dr. Manhattan, who's like a human who's pretty much alienated from his humanity. And on the other hand, you've got Superman, who is an alien who has embraced humanity, right? So an interesting dichotomy. And Dr. Manhattan sort of gets inspired, I guess, by Superman's selflessness and decides to change things for the better, right? And that eventually that hope even filters back to the Watchmen universe, where we see John Cosmic Clark, right, the son of Marionette and Mind, imbued with Dr. Manhattan's powers. So it's sort of setting out a potential Watchmen story there. Who knows? It may happen. But on to the some of the extras, right? So cover gallery, sketchbook. This is all Watchmen stuff, it looks like. Here goes. So variant cover, okay, number 1. Variant cover number 2. Variant cover number 3. Variant cover number 4. Variant cover number 5. Variant cover number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. 10. 11. And 12. Okay. And what's this? Oh, this is the hardcover collection covers that I was showing you before. Alright, here you go. In the back. And what's this? Oh, it covers sketches and pencils by Gary Frank. Very cool. Character designs. Punch and Jewelry, right? The characters of Mime and Marionette based on them. So, very cool extras. You can see all these character designs. Batman. Doomsday Clock Bat Matter extras. Alright. For each issue, it looks like. So that's cool. Alright, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Thumbnails, is it? What's this? Oh, interior pencils. And, ooh. There you go. If you're a long time Watchmen fan, you know who these two are. Okay. Anyway, that's a nice little photo at the back there. And that's it. Okay. So, and there is a bookmark as well. So so that's Absolute Doomsday Clock. As I said, pretty dense story. You would have felt that when I flipped through the pages, right? It would probably take you a, I don't know, better part of the day to get through it. Just like the original Watchmen, right? It's thoughtful. It's not like beat 'em up, sort of like your typical superhero comic book. I mean, it's very meta, right? It's about, ultimately though, it's about hope, about Superman. So it is many things, but I would say this is one of the most important Superman stories ever told. Geoff Johns, as I mentioned, he described this as his most personal, epic, mind-bending project ever. So you'll probably stay that way for a pretty long time, right? So do check it out if you haven't yet, right? So Absolute Doomsday Clock. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in another video.